Hello, boys and girls. Today, I'm here again in my living room with Penelope, and I would like to read this book to you today, and it's called Bear Shadow. Now, Bear Shadow is from our library, and if everybody could look very closely at the letter at the front, and maybe you could say that letter out loud if you know it. It's the letter A. And maybe you could think about why this book from our library might have that big letter A on the front. Now, boys and girls, I chose this book today to read to you guys in N2 and K1 because it has something to do with a shadow. And I think you guys have been talking a little bit about shadows in your classroom before we went on spring break, or right now with your teachers, Miss Moira and Miss Susan. So let's share Bear Shadow. One day, Bear went down to the pond with his fishing pole and a big can of worms. While he was putting a worm on his hook, he looked down and he saw a big fish. I'm going to catch that fish, Bear thought to himself. So you can see here is the fish. But when Bear stood up to throw his line into the water, his shadow scared the big fish away. "Go away, Shadow," cried Bear. But Bear's shadow would not go away. "Okay," said Bear, "if you won't go on your own, then I'll just have to get rid of you." And he put down his fishing pole and he began to run. He ran around the pond, and when he got to the other side, he kept running. See, here he is running around the pond until he gets to the other side. But, boys and girls, you can see, yes, his shadow. He ran through a field of flowers, jumped over the brook, and hid behind a tree. "Good," thought Bear. "Now Shadow can't find me." So look here very closely. You can see Bear behind the tree. This is a very good place for Bear to hide because you can't see him. But what else do you not see? Right, you don't see his shadow. Now, maybe we could just stop there and we could think about, why doesn't Bear see his shadow? But Bear was wrong, because when he stepped out from behind the tree, the first thing he saw was his shadow. Nearby was a cliff. Bear walked over to the cliff and looked up. "I'll climb so high, Shadow won't be able to follow me," thought Bear. What do you guys think? Is Bear going to get rid of his shadow by climbing up the cliff? Bear climbed higher and higher until at last he pulled himself up to the top. Huffing and puffing, he smiled with pride. Then he looked down, and what did he see? That's right, he saw his shadow. Now Bear was really annoyed. So he went home and he got a hammer and some nails. And he decided decided to nail his shadow to the ground. He hammered and hammered and hammered, but no matter how many nails he hammered, he couldn't nail his shadow down. But if you look closely, you can see he created himself, because it's the same as his shadow. Oh, if I can't nail him down, thought Bear, maybe I can bury him. So he got his shovel and he dug a hole. When the hole was deep and wide, he let his shadow fall in the hole. Ah, is this going to work? When Bear filled in the hole with dirt, he was finished, but it was almost noon. The sun was high in the sky, and Shadow was nowhere to be seen. At last, sighed Bear. No more Shadow. Okay, if we were in the library again, I would stop here and we would talk about why Bear can't see his shadow. After the book, maybe you guys could talk with your parents or auntie or anybody who's watching this with you about why Bear can't see his shadow now that the sun is above his head, right above. But now, after all that digging, Bear was very tired, so he went inside and he took a nap. And when he slept, time passed, and the sun once again cast shadows everywhere. The sun was no longer above anybody's head. So now there were shadows. I wonder why. When Bear got up, he opened his door and he saw his shadow on the floor. "Oh, not you again," exclaimed Bear, and he slammed the door, hoping to lock Shadow inside. But Shadow was too quick. How did Shadow get in the house? Bear shut the door. There was no more sun. What do you guys think? Sighed Bear. How about this? If you let me catch a fish, I'll let you catch one too. Nod your head if this is a deal. And of course, when Bear nodded his head, his shadow nodded his head too. So Bear went back to the pond and once again threw his line in the water. By this time, the sun was in a different part of the sky, which made it easy for Shadow to keep his part of the deal. So Bear was fishing and Shadow was fishing. And when Bear caught a fish, Shadow caught one too. Well, this book really gives us lots of ways that we can discuss about shadows. So maybe if your mums and dads or aunties have the time, maybe they could talk to you about those questions that we put in the book as we were reading. Maybe you could even play it again and stop at the places where I ask questions. All right, till the next time we have a book. Bye, everyone. Come on, Penelope, we're gonna go out the library.